Hello, beautiful alchemist. Welcome to Reiki Radio. I am your host, Yolanda, and this week's episode is a little different. I am not sharing an interview with you today. What I will be sharing with you is the energy update for December 2022. Now, this is something that I provide every month, the energy of the month. If you are subscribed to my newsletter, you have access to these videos, and it's just information to help support us in understanding the energies that we will be experiencing collectively so that we can navigate our feelings, our thoughts, different encounters with more clarity and awareness. The reason I am sharing it on the podcast this week is because we are entering this season that really puts a lot of emphasis and focus on our spiritual awakening. Now, a lot of people think that they've already had their spiritual awakening, but the truth of the matter is it's an ongoing process. Every aspect of your life is pointing to and supporting you through your ongoing spiritual awakening. And I'll talk more about that in the energy update. But the reason I think that this is so important to share now is because we are entering a universal year 7 in the system of numerology, which also is pointing to a year that will be highly focused on our spirituality and our spiritual awakening, how we are in relationship to ourselves through the process. And there's just going to be a lot of emphasis on that. So I know a lot of people right now are already feeling the energy of change. You may be feeling a little anxious or this like little annoying nagging feeling in the background that you're either coming out of something or not knowing what you're moving into. We tend to feel it on all levels when we're going through any significant shift or change, not to mention we're coming up on a seasonal change. We're about to enter the winter solstice this month. So there's a lot that is coming up for us that I thought it would be important to share with you in case you're not on my newsletter yet. And so I hope you enjoy the information. I always recommend that people have a pen and paper so that they can take note, so that as you do journey throughout the month, you can go back and reference your notes and have some understanding again about what it is that you may be growing through. If you want to make sure that you in the future get access to all of the energy updates of the month, it is free. Just sign up for my newsletter at theenergeticalchemist.com and you will get access to my free download called 22 Days of Transformation, as well as Creating with the Moon and Stars. And within that, you get access to all of the energy updates every single month. So go to my website, register or sign up for the newsletter. While you're there, if you are someone who has been interested or it's been calling to you, you've been thinking about joining me for Alchemy of the Oracle, right now is the time to register because that class starts on the winter solstice. So there's more information about that. If you have any questions for me, always feel free to contact me. You can email me through my website. And that is it for now. I hope you enjoy the energy update, and I will see you on the other side. Hello, beautiful alchemist. Happy December. If you are new to me in the community, my name is Yolanda, and every month I post a video to give updates for the energy of the month, just so that we can all know what is coming up for us collectively. We have some understanding about different energies and shifts and just feelings that we may encounter. And when we have that understanding, it often helps us to navigate it all with more clarity, not feel like something is going on with us just individually. It can really help us be more clear about the why and what's going on, which just helps to inform how we navigate whatever it is that we may encounter. But one of my favorite things about really looking at the energy of the month, looking at what's going on in terms of the energy of the sun and the moon and other collective type of events based on planetary movements and these types of things, is that it also helps to clarify for us how to make the best use of particular energies and even seasons that we may be in. So, welcome to the energy of the month for December 2022. One of the things, of course, this time of year, we often, it's kind of like this conflicting energy, to be quite honest, because on one hand, we're in the season of winter, we're about to enter the winter solstice. It's this energy of slowing down, going in, being reflective. But we're also in the holiday season, which for many can be very chaotic. There's a lot of planning, events, parties, dinners, shopping. And so there can be a lot of activity stirring up for us where we feel like there's so many different lists that we have to check. But simultaneously, there's a part of us that just wants to sink in, quiet down, slow down, maybe take a nap. So, we're going to talk about the energies of this month, again, how to best navigate what it is that we will be experiencing on a collective level, but of course, consider how this applies to you and your personal life. Now, one of the things about the energy of the month, what I like to do is I always recommend that you right now grab something to write with so that you can take note of these different energies, these different highlights. And then as you go through the month, you may have certain days where you are wondering, like, I wonder what is coming up for me, why I may be feeling this way, why my mind is directed to this, why I'm feeling emotional, whatever it may be. And then go back to what you've noted about the energies of the month and see how it applies. And if you recognize some correlation, you can then again have deeper understanding and go like, okay, this is what's going on with the energies for us on this planet right now. And now I can navigate with more understanding. It's simply that. So, again, if you are new here, the energy of the month updates are usually posted by the first of the month. Sometimes, depending on my schedule, it may be a couple of days after, but you can always come back and check at the beginning of each month so that you can be best prepared for how to navigate. Now, one of the things about December, this energy in of itself is really pointing to this essence of our spiritual awakening. Now, a lot of people feel like they have one event in life that points to their spiritual awakening. It could have been the event that was the catalyst that sent you into wanting to learn Reiki or wanting to meditate or wanting to do any type of practice that would bring you into deeper awareness of you and your oneness with all there is. But the truth of the matter is, we are constantly going through growth cycles. We are constantly going through different experiences that allow expansion of mind and consciousness. We are constantly going through and given opportunity to expand our awareness around our life, who and what we are, what matters to us. And so, in a sense, we are on this constant cycle that is contributing to our spiritual awakening. Now, this season in particular really puts some emphasis on that. And the reason I'm saying it that way is because there are certain times and cycles and seasons where our minds may be redirected towards other areas of life, like work and home and this and that. But December, because we are in the energy of Sagittarius season and also in this internalized feeling that winter in of itself brings, this time of year, this month even in particular, brings a lot of awareness to what it is we seek to know or understand, what our personal philosophy, principle, our relationship to universe, what it is that we even believe in the bigger scheme of things. That's what Sagittarius energy in this month is going to highlight, where you stand now in the cycle of your own spiritual awakening and what it is that you're feeling called towards, what it is that you really want to seek to understand in a deeper way, and how it all, of course, relates back to you. Now, the setup of this is we're in Sagittarius season, and Sagittarius is a fire sign. It is um, what we would call mutable fire. So that means it's changeable, it's adaptable. Again, we're pointing to this expansion, this change, evolution of your consciousness. The planet that rules Sagittarius is Jupiter, which is the planet of expansion. And a lot of people relate this energy to good fortune and good luck and all of these things, but Jupiter really expands whatever it is that it may touch. For the sake of what we're focusing on, we're just going to consider this expansion of consciousness of mind. Sagittarius energy is also known as this adventurous energy. It's related to travel, it's related to fun, but these experiences, traveling, adventuring, all of these things also pour back into our understanding. So we have different layers of how we learn, how we process thought. You can read books, you can study, you can talk to other people, take classes, but something that expands the mind in magnificent ways is your direct experience, which we often have through connecting with other people, traveling, exploring, allowing yourself to try new things. So, this energy this season really supports that. So, you may have found recently in this energy, maybe you are questioning your path. You are starting to recognize maybe there is more value and benefit to being more dedicated to your practice. Maybe there's a part of you that's thinking, I want to go deeper into understanding whatever it is that I've already found connection to or connection with. Maybe you are feeling deeper resonance with um, whatever your area of study may be, or you may even want to explore going into other directions of study or experience for the sake of understanding in higher ways. That's what this energy is really going to highlight and emphasize for us. So this month, aside from all the busyness of the holiday, as it relates to you personally, just notice the way that you may be considering how to best support and nurture your own spiritual awakening, and also taking time to reflect on that. It's not necessarily a time where you're going to make some big action or change, but you may want to have some clear planning around how you are going to facilitate this. And it's not just because we're in a reflective season that I'm saying that, but there are other events this month that are going to point to your planning and how you are going to prepare yourself for this new cycle of awakening that you're entering. So, Sagittarius energy, first of all, I want to say happy birthday to all of the beautiful Sagittariuses out there. Love, love, love this essence, and so glad that we all get to learn from it and through it. This is our time for our quest of truth and also really tapping into that inner wisdom. Now, one of the things, as I just mentioned, Sagittarius is this deep exploration for the quest of truth. But one of the things I was recently sharing with the Alchemy Circle is it's not always externalized. There's that inner wisdom we always hear about. And a lot of people think, like, no, I don't know the answer. That's why I'm seeking externally. But it does require patience, practice, and just sitting with yourself, along with some other tools and techniques that help you to access that inner wisdom, but also to be open to universal consciousness, which allows you to download higher wisdom. And we'll talk more about that in a little bit. But one of the things I wanted to point out, now that my deck is complete, one of the things I wanted to share with you is how the cards also point to the energy of the month. So I always look at the major expression cards in relation to the energy of the month. And I use it as a point of reference of what is the teacher for this month? What energy can I come back to for guidance to help me understand navigation for this month? So I go to the major expressions section of the deck and I look at the card and what the teaching of that may be. And I choose the number of the month that we're in. So December 12th month, number 12 card in my deck is called Altar. And this card is perfectly aligned with the season and what it is I just shared with you. This energy, I mean, you can just look at the image and see how it's speaking to you intuitively now, what you would think the teaching of this card may be. And it really does point to that going within, being reflective, not fighting against anything, being in connection to what it is that you already know or understand in a deeper way, and allowing yourself to really come into relationship with different aspects of your consciousness for the sake of your understanding, for the sake of your quest of truth, but also trusting in your own way. It's an inside job. There's a lot of ways we can work with this energy. I also reduced the number 12 down. 1 plus 2 equals 3. And we have the breathing goddess card. And this card is also going to remind you this month that you don't have to chase or go into frustration over what it is you want to create or even what it is that you want to have. A big part of our creation process is recognizing, one, that we are just naturally creators, but sitting in that grace of understanding you have access to all. You have access to all. So, in that knowing, what do you then have to adjust within your frequency, within your alignment, within your understanding to allow yourself to be in reception of, to be in co-resonance with that which you want to create, magnetize, attract, experience, and so on. Now, of course, there are tips for all of this, but we don't have time for all of that. But if you do have the deck, if you have the Energetic Alchemist Oracle deck, you can read about these cards and see how they apply to support you this month. So now is the time where you would get out your pen and paper and take note of the events for the month and how these energies can apply. Now, one of the first events of the month is going to take place on December 3rd. On December 3rd, there is an event with the planets. This is like one of those collective energies. We have a planet, Neptune, which has been retrograde for some time. It will be stationing direct on December 3rd. Now, the planet Neptune is the modern ruler of Pisces, but this energy, this planet is related to our intuition, our dreams. It's where we dissolve the illusion of separation. Well, it was retrograde. And in that retrograde, what you may have noticed over some time is like really having to face reality, like where you may have had on rose colored glasses in your life, where it is things came very much into view of how was I seeing things? How was I connected to, attached to? What were my thoughts and feelings around? What is it that I was clinging to because of some deep desire or want? Was I over romanticizing things? What was it? There may have been some clarity around these topics for you recently where you really were reflective of like, what is that I'm holding on to and why? And do I need to let this go? Or do I need to see this differently? Or I'm starting to see this differently. This could be in any area of life. But now that it will be stationing direct on December 3rd, this really will help us to come into clarity now with our intuition, recognition of our dreams. But the real key is then, how do I take that essence of, we'll say like reality, right? How do I take the essence of my analytical mind and allow it to be in co-resonance with the clarity now of my intuitive recognition. And how can this marriage of analytical and intuitive then guide me forward with more clarity? Because in that retrograde, you probably had some real realizations about where you may have been stuck in some, illusion or delusion around something, some experience, some relationship, whatever. And now you take that information and allow the clarity again of your intuitive nature to help guide your way forward. So that happens on December 3rd. But another thing on December 3rd is if you are someone who really is connected with the essence and energy of numbers, then in the system of numerology, December 3rd is a 33 day. The number 33 in the system of numerology is the master teacher. So this energy really puts emphasis again on wisdom, which is a theme of this month anyway. So we have this portal, this 33 portal on December 3rd. But the way that the numbers are arranged, 1, 2, 3, points to this portal of progression. So on this day, it's a good time to just sit and have consideration for how you're moving forward and consider that sequence 1, 2, 3, putting emphasis for you on where can I slow it down a bit and remind myself to go one step at a time. What sequence of events or sequence of action should I take that will be most supportive of me? Because a lot of times we're acting from a space of chaos and things are unclear. And again, Neptune was in retrograde, now it's going direct, right? So this is a time to sit with myself and recognize where it is now I have some clarity and understanding about my current path, my current focus, my current way forward, and how can I look at a logical, practical way of laying things out, just a plan, an idea of what will support my way forward. Now, looking at the numbers again, the order of them 1, 2, and 3. You can look at the number 1 as, first of all, come into alignment with yourself. The number 1 is about that unified connection between you and all there is, divine intelligence. So 1, come into alignment, relationship, clarity, sit with you, meditation, whatever it is. The number 2 points to then, in that state of alignment, really consider your choices. What are your options? Or is there a decision that needs to be made? Or the number 2 could also point to the potential for collaboration, partnership, working on whatever this way forward may be with someone else. And then number 3 is the number of creativity. So then is when we move into that creative essence, that creative energy. So align, decide, or collaborate, and then allow that creative inspiration to guide the way forward. So the next event that you want to mark on your calendar for this month is December 7th. December 7th, we have the queen of the month, which is I refer to as the full moon. We have the full moon in Gemini. Now, if you've been watching these videos for a while, if you're just into astrology, you already know when the moon is full, it's in the opposing sign of the sun. So the sun at this time is in the energy of Sagittarius, and then the moon will be full in the opposite sign, which is Gemini. Now, this axis, this Gemini Sagittarius axis and opposition, really points to consciousness. This full moon will be a great time to pause and acknowledge what is coming up in your awareness, both in your lower mind, which is more logical, but then also where you want to expand consciousness and what you may feel inspired by. Now, the reason for this is that both of these signs really point to some level of our consciousness. The sign of Gemini, which the moon will be in, is ruled by the planet Mercury. And this is more about our logical mind, our analytical mind, how we process thought, learning, like again, through like connection with peers and reading books, this type of thing. Whereas on the opposite end, we have Sagittarius ruled by Jupiter. And this is like higher wisdom, expansion of mind, seeking, questing for truth. So we again have this dance of consciousness that will be illuminated during this full moon. So a couple of things to consider. The full moon is always a great time, and listen, it'll bring it up for you anyway, of revealing what it is you are full of, what it is like full of emotion, full of ideas, full of inspiration, full of whatever it may be. The full moon illuminates for us what is going on internally, what is really being highlighted and emphasized for us. So, in this full moon energy, you will have this opportunity to really consider what's going on with my logical self, my lower mind, and lower doesn't mean bad, but what is also going on with me in terms of how I want to expand my consciousness and what it is I want to take to the next level or higher level of understanding. This energy can also point to communication and exploration because Gemini, ruled by Mercury, has a lot to do with how we are communicating things. This could be a great topic to explore during this full moon. How are you communicating with yourself? And how are you in communication with others? And then also where you are feeling inspired to explore, exploring for the sake of expansion of mind, consciousness, study, spirituality, whatever it may be. So, this full moon, take note, take time to sit with you and notice what is coming up for you. Sometimes when we hear this, we think, like, oh, but I'm already aware of what I'm thinking of. But are you? Sometimes we're so caught up and busy in life, the day to day, our routine, what has to be done, our responsibilities, that we're on autopilot. And even though we're on autopilot, we're still affected by what's running in the background, what's dancing in the realm of our consciousness, unconsciously and consciously. But when we take the time to stop, to pause, tune in with ourselves, then we can clarify, then we can have understanding. And in this self acknowledgement, we start to calm not just the mind, the body then starts to calm and relax. You help your nervous system calm down and relax, but you also give yourself the space and time to clarify. Here's the thing, it's coming to tell you now, this time is so important to really be consciously aware of how we are allowing our spiritual expansion, our relationship to self, our relationship and willingness for our own healing and transformation, and our relationship to all there is. And the reason this is significant, even though we hit this energy every year during this season, this year, it really is setting the foundation for the energy that we're all entering in 2023. 2023 is a universal year 7, which means next year is going to put a lot of emphasis on your spiritual awakening. Your spiritual awakening is not just regulated to your practices such as Reiki and this and that. We awaken spiritually through every experience and encounter and area of life. Your spiritual awakening can be facilitated and activated through your relationships. Part of your spiritual awakening can be activated and triggered by what you experience in career, life path, what it is you feel called to share and do. Everything, every part of your life is contributing and pointing to some aspect of your spiritual awakening, which is to say, it is pointing to or contributing to your opportunity for higher understanding, healing, transformation, and allowing yourself to purify heart mind. We won't go into too much detail of it now, But I really just want to emphasize for you how this season, this month, is really setting the stage for what it is we will be encountering collectively. Highlight, flashlight, emphasis on our spirituality and our spiritual awakening. So after the full moon, the next event is December 12th. December 12th is another one of our 33 portals. It is the portal of creativity because the number 12 equals 3. This is another 33 day. Now, again, we have that number 1, and this time just 1 and 2, and then again repeated 1 and 2. The number 1 again is pointing to your alignment. Number 2 is pointing to partnership, collaboration, or decision and choice. So this is a beautiful energy this day to sit and consider again, come into alignment. Everything about this month is going to keep pointing to sit with yourself, come into meditation, come into deeper awareness for the sake of your higher expansion, your understanding, expansion of consciousness. Go in. Winter is pointing to that. The energy of this month is pointing to that. And again, it's going to set you up greatly for the energy of next year, which of course we'll talk about in January. But this day, this 1 and this 2, that equals 3, let it be a day where you allow yourself to come into alignment and then consider yourself a co-creator. You are co-creating your life with universal intelligence and universal wisdom. But are you giving yourself an opportunity to access that wisdom? Are you banging your head against the wall about what you don't know, what you're confused about, your personal attachments, your personal desires? You don't know how to reach your goals. Are you sitting in frustration because you don't realize that you have the accessibility to co-create with universal intelligence and wisdom your own higher mind? So this is a good day to sit in that alignment and allow yourself to recognize yourself as co-creating, and also recognizing that 33 divine intelligence of the master teacher, which just is pointing to your inner wisdom. How can I come into relationship with this? Now, some of you may already have practices, meditation practices. Maybe you go on the Akashic records. Maybe you work with oracle cards. Maybe you have some practice, some tool of divination or connecting with higher guidance that already supports you. But maybe you're not consistent with it. This is one of the reasons why I created the Energetic Alchemist Oracle deck, because Oracle cards are what helped me initially years ago come into deeper relationship with my intuitive mind. Now, again, in this energy this month, the reason this is so important is because we have blind spots. We do. We get blinded by our own veils of illusion. We get blinded by what we're attached to, what we want so badly, what we're afraid of not working out, being frustrated with not knowing how to proceed ahead, not knowing what to do, not being able to see clearly what our options are, on and on and on. We create a lot of noise and disturbance for ourselves. But there are so many ways that we can come into relationship with our higher mind, higher guidance, accessing higher wisdom, just to help us have some clarity, to come out of the frustration and say, like, oh, now I understand why I've been bumping against this. Now I understand why I was in resistance with this. Now I understand that there's more options available than I recognized. Just having understanding releases us from so much stress and tension, but ultimately the choices will still be yours. It's your choice what you want to do. But think of how much easier it is to trust in our choices and our decision making when we feel like we're making a decision from a state of clarity versus confusion, upset, and all of those other energies, right? So you can start considering now. There's several ways to do it. Meditation is a great way to come into relationship and clarifying communication between you and your higher mind. But if you still want to be very clear, you can use something like oracle cards to help translate the message, the language, the symbolism of your intuitive nature. In fact, I just want to remind you, if you are someone that has the Energetic Alchemist Oracle or you plan on getting the deck, there is a free class available to you called Behind the Veil with the Oracle. It was a class that I offered for people who purchased the deck, and that will help you understand how to work with the cards in a way. It's just like beginner level, right? It gives you the basics of this is how you can work with the cards to help you gain clarity. This is the time of year where we put emphasis on this. I want clarity, not only around my spiritual awakening, but this is the time of year where we start feeling that urge of like, I need to know what my new year is going to be. I need to know what my next steps are. I need to know what my next plans are. We just naturally come into this essence collectively. One, because we're close to the new year. Two, because of the energy of Sagittarius in of itself, but also the essence and the energy of winter. Aren't you considering your plans? You're not alone. So anyway, on December 12th, we have this opportunity to really consider our portal of creativity, how we are creating or co creating with universal intelligence, and how this can support our way forward. Now, the next event that you want to write down is on December 21st. Yes, we have another 33 portal, but there are other events that are going on this day, two others, in fact. So on the 21st, we're moving out of the energy of Sagittarius. The sun is moving out of Sagittarius and into the energy of Capricorn. Now, this is going to illuminate for us the energy of Capricorn. So, where Sagittarius energy was having us directing our minds and our attention to the start of our spiritual awakening or this next cycle or phase of our spiritual awakening, wanting to expand our mind, our understanding, our consciousness, Capricorn energy is going to come in and say, now start to bring it in and be practical about this. How are you going to use or apply whatever it is that you've been seeking to understand? How does any aspect of your consciousness or what it is that you're giving time and attention to, how does this allow you to contribute back? How does this point to your life path, your career? How is this practical in your life? What is it supporting? Now, the truth of the matter is, as it comes to your spirituality, your spiritual practices, and your own process of energetic alchemy, it touches every part of your life. Your healing, who you are, how you're being, how you are expressing, how you are dealing with your nature of emotion, your nature of mind, just your overall energetic expression. It touches every part of your life. It contributes to how you show up in work, how you show up in relationship, how you deal with navigating projects and plans and all that. It all comes back down to you. Your spiritual process, your spiritual way contributes to every aspect of your life, right? So Capricorn is really going to come in and say, now it's time to be practical about who you're being, how you are applying anything into every area of your life, but also taking accountability for the work that is required. Capricorn is going to say, are you doing the work? It's one thing to sit and think about and reflect on, but are you applying? Are you trying? Are you doing the work? This energy is going to bring us into it's time to be disciplined, dedicated to what it is you say you want to do or accomplish, right? Capricorn energy is about your goals and meeting them, long term goals, not just short term, but long term goals. And again, if you are being responsible, dedicated to doing the work. So on this day, the sun will move into Capricorn, and we'll talk more about Capricorn energy in January. But we also on this day have the winter solstice. Now, the winter solstice, both the winter and summer solstice, and then the fall and spring equinox, these are, I think of them as like markers of portals of change that we're going through, not just because they mark the season, but what does that season represent? And energetically, again, how does that support us in the mirroring of our life path, our journey, and what it is we may be going through? So we have this portal of sorts that we're entering. The winter solstice is marking a new cycle for us. And it really is a reflection of the death and rebirth of the sun. We're going into this which already started in fall, but we are going into the cycle of darkness. So what it is start thinking about, like, what is the contrast between dark and light, right? I mean, in light, we can look at things are very clear, things are illuminated. In the light seasons, like spring and summer, things are growing, things are in full bloom. But in the dark seasons, fall, things start to die away. This is an initiation of change, letting go of what no longer serves us. And then in winter, when all things are dead in nature, it's a time of hibernation, of going in, of being reflective before we are reborn into the light of things being illuminated and more clear again. So during the winter solstice, it's really an honoring of what did you learn this year? What were the lessons and the teachings of 2022? How have you grown? How have you changed? And at this point, what do you recognize as you have grown out of? What have you moved beyond or are moving beyond and through? What is it that you have allowed to die away to transform? What is it that you recognize as no longer serving you, and definitely that you don't want to take forward in your next cycle of progression? Some things are just lessons for us. They're just things to help us identify what our wounds have been, what we've been holding in ways that needed to be forgiven, or helping us to recognize where we needed to have more compassion or understanding, or just where we were really attached to something that wasn't good for us, or no longer, again, like it just wasn't in alignment with who we are, where we're at, and where we're going. This season is an honoring of that, what you have grown through, gone through, and what you are allowing to leave behind, die away, transform, right? Reflect on the beauty of what you have gone through, the lessons, the wisdom that you have gained throughout this year. You've encountered a lot of different experiences, relationships, opportunities, this, that, and the third. Where's the wisdom that you have gained? So during the winter solstice, you may even want to have some kind of ritual that really honors the endings and changes that you have either gone through or are going through. Really reflect on the gifts and the lessons that have brought you to the space of understanding that you now sit in. It's a beautiful way to prepare for change, to allow ourselves, again, that space and time to reflect, so that we can then pour into what it is we want to nurture and grow in this new cycle or phase. So on that day, there's a lot that you can do in reflection, being very self-reflective. Again, that's a theme of this month, but it's also another 33 portal day. We have 12 and 21, December 21st. This is a mirror reflection of the number 12, 1, 2, and then 2, 1. So this is the portal of reflection. And again, with what I just shared about the winter solstice, there it is. This is a day to allow yourself to really go in, to be reflective, for the sake of honoring how you have grown, learned, changed, and honoring what it is that you can now release or move beyond for the sake of how and what you're moving into for your growth, expansion, and contributing to your spiritual awakening. So, another thing on this day that I am so excited about, and I am starting this on the winter solstice very intentionally. The alchemy of the seeker begins on the winter solstice. So, again, if you are someone who has the energetic alchemist deck, or if you want to get it, you can order it today. In fact, if you plan on having the deck before the holidays, if you're getting it for a gift for someone else, a gift for yourself, order as soon as possible, because I have to personally mail these out. And I, of course, want to make sure you have it before the holidays. But in any case, Alchemy of the Seeker is a class which is a prerequisite to my certification class, Alchemy of the Oracle. So even if you are taking Alchemy of the Oracle, class for you begins with the prerequisite Alchemy of the Seeker. All of this starts on December 21st. Now, let me tell you something. If you have ever worked with me or taken a class with me, you know that I am very dedicated to making sure you understand. Okay. I give you a lot of content, a lot of information, but it's not ever just lecture. The reason that my classes go so in depth is because I am huge on giving you direct experience. I'm excited about these classes in a way that I've never been excited about a class because of how much has gone into them. So not only do I help you recognize how to use Oracle as a source of clarity to help you learn and grow through your spiritual awakening, it's not just about predictive work, it's to support you on your path to gain clarity and understanding. Again, seeing beyond your blind spots, seeing beyond your frustration, having clear understanding about what you're encountering on your path, but more importantly, to support you in your options of what would best support you in moving forward. So I'm excited about it from that lens. That's why I love the deck. But this is the first class, very specifically for Alchemy of the Oracle, that I've created a workbook to accompany the class. When I tell you, I thought this was going to be a very easy, simple task. It's a workbook to help you as we journey through the class. I put in so much information to really help you go into deep relationship with you and your intuitive mind. I'm beyond excited about this. I'm excited about the journeys that we're going to take. I'm excited about the exercises that are planned for you. I'm excited about the group work. I'm excited about all of it because as I've been creating it and allowing information to flow through, I know that this is going to be impactful. It's going to support you in ways that I, it's not just about oracle cards. It really is about deeper level transformation, your own alignment, your own spiritual awakening. But in Alchemy of the Oracle, not only for the sake of you, but for holding space for others, having better conversations, more effective conversations with your clients, having more effective ways to support clients and people in your life. The amount of exploration we go in around your expression and communication, verbally and non-verbally, working with the cards, how you do the dance between analytical and intuitive mind, all of it. Whether you feel comfortable with your intuition, whether you've ever even used oracle cards, it doesn't matter. We are going in deep and you will have understanding of one, really getting comfortable with working with the cards and how they can be supportive, but also more importantly, getting really comfortable and understanding your relationship with your intuitive nature. So that all starts on the winter solstice. And of course, for me, I was looking at, wow, we're going into the season of reflection. We're going into the season of spiritual awakening. Not to mention, these classes will still be going on through the first quarter of next year. And next year is all about our spiritual awakening. So It's a perfect design to really support you in this energy that we will all be working through on so many levels. So if you want to join, be sure to register right away. In fact, I would say register today because there are oracle boxes that are going out for people who are registered for Alchemy of the Oracle. Alchemy of the Oracle, that's where you're going to get all of this beautiful information. And even if you don't want to be an Oracle coach, the content is going to really support you like just beyond in phenomenal ways. So I'm really excited. I can't wait to see all the beautiful souls that I get to work with in this class. What you will get is you get an Oracle box that includes a custom Oracle cloth that was designed for this deck specifically. The Some of the people who have registered are also getting Oracle card holder that was custom made by one of the beautiful members of the Alchemy Circle. You're also going to get this Oracle workbook that I created that there's no other way to get it, and it is packed with information that is going to help you on your path. Yeah, just some different things, but I want to make sure that you get it before class starts. So if you're interested, this is speaking to you, you feel this alignment with like, yes, this will support me in my spiritual awakening, coming into relationship with myself, my intuition, and with Oracle, sign up today. The link to join is down in the description of this video, or you can just go to my website, go to theenergeticalchemist.com, sign up for Alchemy of the Oracle. Even if you don't want to come to class, again, you can order the deck. There is a free intro class that you'll have access to. And if you want the deck as gifts, put those orders in because Christmas is right around the corner. We're almost there. All right. So we're moving into this new portal, this new energy. And, it's exciting to me, just the idea of being in this season that is putting emphasis on our spiritual awakening. I can tell you it's already started. I mean, in the Alchemy Circle, most of you know that's my group mentoring program. Our classes lately have been just phenomenal. Like what people are experiencing, what's coming up for them, even the direction from the guides, because my classes are always channeled. They have all been pointing to this very thing, our spiritual awakening, and how we are applying and moving our work into the world and moving forward. So I imagine this theme is coming up for so many of you. But the next thing that you want to note is December 23rd, where we have the Alchemist of the month. And the Alchemist of the month is what I refer to as the new moon. This is a super new moon in Capricorn. And when the moon is new, it means that the sun and the moon are in the same sign. So with the full moon, sun and moon are in opposing signs. New moon, they are in the same sign. So the sun and the moon are in Capricorn. The new moon is a time where we really consider our goals, our plans. We're not necessarily taking action on them, but we are just having consideration. When the moon is new, there's no light in the sky, no big illumination like there is where the moon is full. It's pretty dark. I mean, the moon it's like a sliver, you can barely see. So it's like things aren't necessarily clear, but the moon is going to start waxing. It's going to start moving, progressing back into its fullness. And so this is a time where it's like we plant the seed. We're planting the seed and then we progress through the cycle of growth. So during the new moon, it's a good time again to be reflective about what it is your goals are. Because it is in the sign of Capricorn, emphasis on goal. What are your goals and plans for the new year? This is the final new moon of 2022. And again, we're preparing now in this energy of what am I moving into for the year ahead, this new cycle, this next phase of life, which all is going to be pointing to your spiritual awakening. So Capricorn energy is really going to point to your discipline, your ambition, your determination, willingness to put in the work. It's also, again, your long-term goals, not just like immediate, but long-term. How am I feeding into my long-term goals? And then also, is this practical? I need to be practical about it, and there needs to be structure. Capricorn is an earth sign. It's like, give me structure, but it's cardinal. So it's initiating, like, yes, I can do this. This is a beautiful time during this energy on this night. Have a ritual, take time to really sit with what your goals and plans are for the new year, how it relates to your path, your life work, your career, all of these kinds of themes, your contributions. But what would it take practically, creating structure around what it is that will set you up for success, so to speak, right? What do you need to learn? What do you need to invest in? What do you need to do differently? What do you need to let go of? What do you need to have the audacity to aim for? So this new moon in Capricorn, make sure you really are considering all of that and the structure around it all. Now, if that wasn't enough reflection for you, we have the final Mercury retrograde of the year. This is the fourth Mercury retrograde of the year. It will happen on December 29th. Mercury will be retrograde until January 18th. So as you already know, not going to go too deep into it because I know you've heard it time and time again, but Mercury is the planet of communication. It's a planet of movement. It's a planet of how we relate to how we process thought. This energy is going retrograde, which is like to say it's a time for us to be reflective, to make revisions, to revise things, really having consideration for our process of thought and communication, because these energies may be confused. It's not just for you, it's for everyone. So in this energy, also have the mindfulness of, are you communicating your ideas, your thoughts clearly? Is what you're saying or trying to convey clearly understood? Are you understanding or misunderstanding what someone else is trying to convey? Be patient in this energy and put clarification at the top of the board, clarifying what's being communicated, but also clarifying what is being executed in your life. What is it that you're doing? What is it that you need to maybe step back and revise? What needs change? What maybe you've been fighting against that now you're like, this isn't going to work. It has to be done differently. Whether it's with a project, the way that you're relating to other people, the way you're communicating things, whatever it is, this is a time of reflection and revision. Now, again, because we'll be in this energy of Capricorn and Mercury will be retrograding in Capricorn, this is probably going to have themes for you about career, where I need to make change, where I may be bumping against miscommunication, misalignment, not making progress or forward movement with something as it relates to career. Don't let it frustrate you. See it as an opportunity. It's an opportunity to make corrections. It's an opportunity to clarify those goals, clarify the actions, the practical plans, clarify your contributions to the world. This is a beautiful energy, really. I don't know. A lot of people get very frustrated and upset about uh, Mercury retrograde, but it's all in how you're viewing it. It's all in, if you see the opportunity, you see how it can support you and your way forward. Revisions often do, because then whatever it is we're bumping against, we can then revise, change, pause, reflect, don't fight against, and then we see how we could do something differently to better support the way forward or better support understanding within our efforts of communication. So one of the things you want to consider also in this retrograde, because of the energy of Capricorn, is if you're giving your best effort, be honest about it. Whatever it is you're trying to accomplish, do whatever your goals may be very honest about, am I really giving my best effort? Am I really pouring practical effort into this? Am I even trying? What am I doing? What is my contribution? What is my role? Be honest about it. And again, if there's something that needs to be done differently, give yourself permission to do it differently, right? So, funny enough, the next day we have another 33 portal. This portal is on December 30th, 1230, which is progression, but the zero is like, wait, revise. It's coming full circle, coming back to look at again. This portal of revision goes hand in hand with the energy of the Mercury retrograde. So again, it's a good time to reflect on the lessons of 2022. Where are you now? What have you learned? And where will you be doing things differently as you enter this new cycle of life? What will you do differently in the year ahead? Keep in mind, 2023 is a universal year 7, and that is all about still pouring into your spiritual awakening, nurturing your spiritual awakening. If you are someone who is curious about numerology, I often, for the last, I don't know how many years, gosh, I know, ooh, it's been easily over 5 years. I don't know how long, but every year at the start of the year, I offer a free numerology class online. So if you are on my newsletter, you will get the invitation to the numerology class. I do it every year. It's free. And what we look at is one, helping you to understand the language of the numbers, understanding how numerology works, how these energies of the numbers can be applied and help you understand various aspects of you and your life. We also look at the energy, numerically speaking, of the year ahead. So again, it's a universal year 7, very focused on our spiritual awakening. And if you want to come to that class, just stay tuned for the newsletter invite. But um, on that day, on the 30th, it's a good time to really reflect on how it is you will be moving into the new year. So, just a few things again, because of the nature of the season, our spiritual awakening, and that energy will be really extended out through all of next year. If you want to join me to go deeper into relationship with you, your intuitive nature, we're going to even discuss different aspects of energetic alchemy. You will learn about the gifts of guided journeys, just facilitating so many things. I mean, you can go to my website and see more details, but even the outline of the classes don't give you a hint of how deep we're going to go and how much information and what you will learn. But Alchemy of the Oracle, that is the class where you get it all. Alchemy of the Oracle includes Alchemy of the Seeker, and it's also where you get the Oracle box with the items that I mentioned earlier. So if you want to join, be sure to register. I would say sign up today. If it feels any part of you, you feel resonant with it, you're like, yeah, I do need to buckle down and come into deeper relationship with my spiritual nature to support my spiritual awakening and relationship to my intuitive nature, sign up. I'm saying do it right away because I want to make sure you get your Oracle box before class begins. Those only go out to register if you register for Alchemy of the Oracle. Again, Alchemy of the Oracle includes Alchemy of the Seeker. So I look forward to working with a lot of you in that class. If you have any questions about it, just email me. The other thing is that because next year is all about spiritual awakening, the Alchemy Circle will also have that as a focus for 2023. So as I mentioned earlier, Alchemy Circle is my group mentoring membership program. And the current Alchemy Circle are a group of beautiful souls that I worked with for 2 years and 7 months. We started that group at the start of COVID. It originated as I just wanted to create space where people could come for daily Reiki practice. That's how we began. And it developed into this weekly class. We had classes twice a week, every Tuesday morning and every Thursday afternoon. But the classes really supported people in their process, their relationship to energetic alchemy. We focused on personal healing and transformation. Every class included guided journeys. There were other special classes and invites that the members of the group were invited to throughout the years. And we finally got to the stage where I told them this cycle of the group is ending. And so they are, in fact, in some sense, graduating. And I'm really looking forward to working with a new group of alchemists. And so the registration for Alchemy Circle 2023 registration will open on January 7th. So if you would like a year to go through this whole year of spiritual awakening, working with me weekly, where you get to have this group experience of diving deeper into your understanding of spirituality, energetic alchemy, working through your own personal layers of healing, of refinement, and helping you to work deeper and more effectively with your clients. Join the group. Membership will open on January 7th. So all of this you can learn on my website, theenergeticalchemist.com. I'm so excited about the new year and what the focus is, because I mean, this is what I live for. And I look forward to just connecting with you all. If you've worked with me before, you know how much I love to share and, again, give you direct experience for your own understanding. So I'm excited that we're all going into this cycle that is putting emphasis on our spiritual awakening, because it's reflective of the change that is happening collectively, the necessity of us waking up and doing things differently. It's speaking to and pointing to why it is so important that so many of us are dedicated to doing the self work for the sake of those who are starting to come into this alignment, this awareness, this awakening, and will need support on their paths as well. So we're living in a time of some very significant change, and we could go into why we chose to incarnate at this time to do this work, but we'll save that for something else. But I am very excited to go into this year and see what it has in store for all of us. I hope that this energy update supports you in understanding how to best navigate this month's energy, but also preparing you for the year ahead. Go to my website, sign up for the classes, order the Oracle deck, join me in the Alchemy Circle. I look forward to all of it. And don't forget to get in your holiday orders, because Christmas is just a few weeks away. So I thank you so much for being here. I hope that you are enjoying the new season of Reiki Radio. If you haven't tuned in yet, you've missed a lot. There have been some amazing conversations. I'm so thankful to everyone, all the guests who come to help us to learn and grow on these paths. You can always listen to the podcast in the archives, your favorite podcast platforms. You can also watch most of the interviews on my YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube and type in Reiki Radio. You can watch most of the interviews there. So that is all for now. Happy December. I will see you all in the new year. Unless you're joining me for Alchemy of the Oracle, I will see you on the winter solstice. Bye for now. Okay, beautiful alchemist. I want to thank you again, first and foremost, for being a part of this community. If you are new here, again, welcome, welcome. It has been years of sharing information about my path, and I really just feel honored to be able to provide a framework for people who are seeking, who are learning through their phases of energetic alchemy. I like to provide you tools and different ways of learning how to own your own ability through your energetic alchemy and your process of spiritual awakening. But on top of that, I also put a lot of emphasis on the nature of community and how important it is for us to have support throughout these journeys of transformation. So if you want to learn more about me and my work, you can go to my website, theenergeticalchemist.com. If you would like to take any of my online classes, you can learn in access, sign up, register now. A lot of them are pre-recorded, so you can take them at your own time. But if you want to join me for my upcoming live classes, you can get information on my site about that as well, including Alchemy of the Oracle. So I look forward to seeing you all very soon. I hope you enjoy this season of the podcast. If you do, please go to Apple Music or wherever you listen to the podcast and give it a rating, a review. It really helps other seekers to find us and to learn on these journeys with us as well. So I thank you for being here, and I will see you soon. Remember to always journey in love.